What's up, everyone? Hope everybody is doing well. It's Chart Doctor, founder of the Profits Mastermind Group, once again here with another video, giving you my technical analysis on the charts for the infamous Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. Before we get into that, we have a 100% free Discord server where we have a community of all levels of traders and investors, from veterans to beginners, talk about strategies, opinions, and ask questions about the stock and cryptocurrency markets. We have more than 65 members currently, and we are continually growing, so I highly recommend you check that out. The Discord link will be in the description below. Also, disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but my opinions, ideas, and analysis of the stock and cryptocurrency markets. This content provided are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence and research, as these markets are extremely volatile and risky. Please do not invest in something you do not know. Everything previewed here are merely suggestions and ideas. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. This technical analysis was requested by Option is Prime from our Discord server, who is also our moderator. Let's take a look at the weekly charts first to get the bigger picture of Alibaba. So I'm gonna put my tools visible now, and let's check it out. So let's start with this channel right here. As you can see in the beginning of its early stages, we broke down, actually tested a support. We didn't know this was support yet, but after we went up and impulse, we can draw that line to know, okay, this is a support so far. And then we had going down and another up, and then we could draw a resistance line because we had two candles right there, so we can get an idea that, okay, this could be a possible resistance line in the future. And then we just we stayed in this channel for a while, tested the support again, couldn't hold it, went down a little bit, and then again we tested the support again to see if we can hold it, went up but failed it again, went down, eventually made it our resistance line before going down to have another touch, maybe like two touches right here, 1 and 2, and then before going up. So that's another resistance line we could draw. Try to test this resistance again, couldn't hold it, touched it like 5 times, and then went back down again to test it again. We broke out of it, tested this support red line again, and then failed before testing the support line in the middle then we popped off to the skies, as you can see. So let me just reset everything that I drew. Sorry for this annoying thing right here. So after that, we ended up impulsing up very strongly, to a bull flag right here. As you can see, this was December 16th, and the length of this was this pole of the bull flag was about 532 days, so almost 2 years. So we had a major impulse for 2 years before we started forming the bull flag, as you can see. And we had multiple touches right here, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and 3 before we broke out, and then currently in a consolidation phase again, which usually happens after a bull flag, because like sometimes you just go straight up after a bull flag, but sometimes you would have to hold it and then just stay here for a while before running up again. So it looks like we're in a downtrend at the moment, but if you see the bigger picture, we're actually in the uptrend. As you can see, using this support line, this pink support line, we're actually in the uptrend in the long term. So whoever bought right here we're still in an uptrend from its whole life in the stock market. As you can see, we kind of almost tested the support here, but we just ended up holding another one right here, which you could draw out right here, this yellow line. So as long as we hold this pink support line, I would say we're in a very good momentum into the uptrend. If we break down, this pink support line would be a good momentum indicator to tell you if we're breaking down to the downside and starting our either another consolidation phase, or it's time to show us that we're going down now to the correction phase or bear market. But as you can see, I don't consider this a bear market. This is just a correction phase from the bull flag. As you can see, we created the pole of the flag, impulsed a lot before we had to create the flag version in the bull flag. So now we're in consolidation phase. As you can see, we're in this ascending triangle. I'll draw it out again right here. and then right here connecting these lines right here. We're currently forming a ascending triangle, which is a bullish sign. So let me show you the bull flag measurements. As you can see, measuring the bull flag from bottom to top, you put it on the where we broke out. We have targets to the $284 range as the long-term measure moves. We're not going to go there right away. Like I said, we might consolidate for a while before breaking up, and it's gonna measure moves don't give you a date. It just tells you the price target in the future. But also I want to show you why I'm super bullish on this, because we haven't broke this pink support line yet. So just pay attention to that pink support line. If we break down below that, I would be concerned. But for the moment, we're doing fine for Alibaba. So now measuring the ascending triangle, this is a very bullish pattern. It doesn't really go bearish. In some cases it does, but on average it breaks up to the upside. It's a bullish pattern. Let's get the measure move off. That would be about where we started. So right here to right here. Let's get that measured move to the top wherever we break out. It could be right here, it could be right here, but in the end we get around the same targets of about 280 to 285. So that's a good sign for the weekly. Now, if we were to break down to the downside of this ascending triangle, which I highly doubt is possible, but you have to keep an open mind. We might, first support would be the 135.70. If we can't hold this support, keep in mind next support would be the $117 range, $118 range, and after that, next support would be 92. So let's just put that right there. But we're not gonna go down straight down. We could test this support, come up, consolidate for a while before testing it again, staying in this channel, seeing what's gonna happen, and then come up, but then come back down and then test this one. This is just a bear scenario. I highly doubt this will happen, but I'm just giving you a scenario. And then keep testing it, see if this holds. Okay, we're gonna test it again and then come out. That's possible what can happen, okay? Just to give you an idea, we're not gonna go straight down to 90. We're gonna have these supports right here to test before we can test the $90 range, okay? Now that you know that, so currently we're in this consolidation phase. Like I said, we're in this ascending triangle pattern, right? As you can see, if we use the BB, it shows us that we're in this consolidation phase. So you can use the BB to show you where we're at the moment, but I wouldn't use this only because you would be blind if you're just using only one tool. You need to use multiple indications and indicators or trend lines, you know? So we're currently in this formation. Whenever we break out, your first resistance out of this ascending triangle is $202.60. And next resistance would be 211 to 212, and then next resistance would be 234, and then next resistance would be 245.80, and then next one would be 262. Now same thing, we're not going to go straight up into the 262. We could, as an impulse, we could break up pretty easily to these levels, but just keep in mind we're not going to go straight to 262. We could test some before going up, test some before going up. It's not going to go straight up, okay? But at the end, our targets for the long term would be 284.77. As you can see on the MACD, it also shows that we're kind of iffy at the moment. Had some multiple fake outs right here. So that really will show you that we're in consolidation phases. So and we're also tightening up on the ascending triangle. So it gets tighter here. The MACD would react the same. It would be tighter and tighter until we break out to the upside, okay? Also for the RSI, we're in medium levels. We're not overbought, oversold. We're basically right in the middle. So we're doing fine at the moment. You just have to watch for this. Watch the volume. The more volume, we might test these resistance. And then if we don't have enough volume, we're going to go down to test it again before breaking up. But if we have massive volume, we could break out soon. But I think we would need more touches before we break out, okay, on the weekly. And these are longer term targets because we're watching the weekly chart. Another thing I would like to show you, but let me delete these lines first to make it clear. I don't want you guys to have the too many line syndrome that I had earlier this week. I just had to redraw my charts because I've just seen too many lines. But as you can see, when we're in this channel right here, we didn't really have much RSI, extremely high overbought or extremely sold assets on the RSI. We didn't have much over 70% or under dramatically 30%. But once we broke out of the channel, it's crazy how you can use these to look at everything. We broke out of this to a crazy impulse, right? Look at the overbought. We stayed at overbought for a long time. About, let's see how long we stayed here. Ever since we broke out of it, we stayed for about almost 230 days. So every time we break out, if we're in a channel, you can notice that we stay in these around the 70-30. We don't really break out to insane levels. But once we break above, we launch and look at the RSI. We stayed above for almost 230 days. That's very amazing. Now, as you can see right now, ever since we dropped out of this impulse wave right here, 230 days, right? My bad, wrong button. But ever since we got into the consolidation phase, it did the same exact thing. Look at this. It's so beautiful how it's playing out. We didn't really get out of the 70 to 30% range. It's when we break out when we will see it. So we're just currently going to be playing like this for a while before we actually break out. And then we just repeat the process again of this. So that's just something you should keep out on for Alibaba on the weekly. Very important information right here that you can learn. Also, same with the MACD, like I said earlier. We'll probably see the same thing happening. Not massive volume, like not the insane volume where we go over like that. We won't have insane volume, but you might just consolidate for a while and just wait until we break out to the upside. So I'm more leaning towards the bullish side for Alibaba on the weekly. So those are my thoughts for the weekly chart. All right, so looking at the daily, as you could see, this was the bull flag I was talking about on the weekly chart. I drew it in yellow this time for this one. And this is a support line. This dashed white line is a support line that we have to hold in order to know that we're still in a bullish uptrend, or if we break down, we're possibly in a downtrend momentum or consolidation phase. So now we had a falling wedge pattern here, broke up to it, and then we have this pink line right here, which is the resistance. As you can see, I know it's a lot of lines right here, but I'll explain these lines later. So this one right here, we have touched it multiple times, at least 6 to 7 times. So we know, okay, we have a hard time breaking above this. And it's possible that at the moment we break down because currently we only have one touch right here, one touch right here, and then one touch right here at the bottom, one touch right here at the bottom. And then the straight line, we have a lot. So I believe we might touch the bottoms like a couple times before we break out to the upside. As you can see, this is the ascending triangle I was talking about earlier on the weekly. Right there. That's the ascending triangle on the weekly. So currently we're testing we tested it, this pink line that we had trouble breaking over because we were in a consolidation phase, remember, on the BB on the weekly. So we're having trouble breaking above this pink line. We tried again, as you could see, but we failed. We failed right here. Look, we failed currently. So then we're on the downtrend right now. So if we break this blue line, let me explain this right now. When we break down to the blue line, that will know, okay, that we're going to go down after that. So our first target we have to see to know that we're on a downtrend is, for the moment, for this consolidation phase, is 175.53. Okay. And then after that, you can make put calls for the first target, 173, conservatives, 173.30 cents. Next target, 171.50 for moderate, and pretty risky would be 169. Or if you're playing the long-term option, the option trading, like swing trading, long-term, mid-term, I would say you could play this channel until we break out to the upside. So watch to see if we break down to this level. That's when it's a safe time to play a put call for the short term for these moments. But make sure your expiration date has enough time to get to these levels, okay? But if you want to play the long term, we could possibly get some put calls around here, like break down to the 175 and then play this long-term channel on the ascending triangle before we break out, okay? So we're gonna have to see if we don't touch the 175, we could just break out of this resistance line to test this resistance right here, which was connected from here to the top of this line. So if we break above that, we possibly could be breaking down, but be careful breaking up to the upside and become bullish. But I think we need a couple more. For me, I believe we need a couple more touches on the bottom. So because we have like 6, 7 right here touches on the top, we need a couple more at the bottom. Okay, we need a couple more at the bottom for me personally. So I'm not bullish at the moment for the short term on the daily because we're still in this consolidation phase. So we're gonna have to see if we get the 175 touch first, and if not, if we do, then we can possibly break out of this pink resistance line and test this yellow, and if we hold it, we might support it and then go up or just go straight up. Or what can happen is a fake out, which we break up and we can't hold it, not enough volume, not enough people buying, people are scared, then we go back down into this channel. So be careful of a fake out. So let's see. Also, we have another resistance line right here, this white dash line connecting these two. So that's the next possible resistance line after we break out of these. We test that. That could possibly mean that we could retest the pink to yellow resistance, turn support, and then go off again, or just create a fake out where we go down into it again before breaking up again. So a lot of possibilities on this, but in the long term, weekly, I am bullish. Okay, now let's see on the MACD. Let's go to MACD first. As you can see, we're having exhausted levels right here, lighter greens, so that's a sign that we're getting exhausted. As you can see, the lighter green happened when we tried to break above this resistance line, but we failed. And as you can see, the gray is like red candles, so that we just broke down. We tempted it but broke down, so that's why we have lighter colors on the MACD. So just watch if we get the 175. If we do, then you can have these possible targets for the put call. Okay, 173 to 169, but the 169 is very dangerous. That's a pretty risky play for the short term, mid term, as we might not get there in time for your expiration date. We might test these supports for a while before we actually go down. Okay, so also on the daily, I've noticed that, remember I used to say on a bull flag, when we break out, we either go up or we go retest it. As you can see, look what Alibaba did. We broke out of this flag, right? And then we tested it again before we went back up to the skies. So as you can see, it was $130 when it tested, around 134 to 35. And then after that, it was all skies from there. We went about 50% increase after that in about 120 days, I'd say. So that's what I mean by when it could either go up or it could just retest and go off to the skies using measured moves. So now let's get into the EMA ribbon. As you can see right now, we're testing this pink support line. And then as you see, the first attempt, we failed it. And then as days go by, this ribbon should be going up. And then this should be going down if we don't have enough volume. And then that's when we test the supports. And basically what's going to happen is something similar to this and this. We're going to have the same situation occur if we don't break out to the upside. If we fail this pink resistance line, we're going to have the same things happen, such as this or like this. Either we test back to the middle and come back up again, or we go back down and then retest the bottom of this ascending triangle and then come back up, possibly to break out this time or retest again until we do the launch up again to the moon, or we retest and go out, just like how this bull flag was. Just exactly like this bull flag right here. We retested and went up. So that's just something really cool to notice for the EMA ribbon. and also that bull flag breakout, which could possibly happen again on this ascending triangle. So now let's look at the RSI. As you can see, recently, ever since May 3rd, we've been having trouble breaking above these lines. Just like when we were in the consolidation phase, it was hard for us to break above this line in the consolidation phase on the weekly as well. Like we had problems on the 70%, but now we're having problems on around the 65%. So right now it looks like we're forming a ascending broadening wedge, which is a bearish sign in the future, which means if we can't break above this, we go back down. So we could possibly test this to run up again before coming back down if we fail to break above this pink line. So it looks like what's going to happen is we could possibly consolidate around this area, which when that does, this will probably be testing like, let me open it bigger for you to see. So it will look like this. Possibly we test again and then break down, or we test this and we can't hold it and we break down. So that's just what I see for the RSI. Possible break, bounce up again before we break down, touching this support, this resistance line on the RSI ever since May 3rd. So that's what could happen for the RSI. Possible we test the resistance, or we just test this line right here and then go back down, or test the support line, try to go up again for another jump up and then go back down. So that's what I'm seeing for the RSI. So that wraps up today's technical analysis on Alibaba for the weekly and day chart. Thank you, Optionist Prime, for the video request, as I learned a lot as well making this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you want to help support the Profits Mastermind group, feel free to use our affiliate links down below in the description. New investors can use it to earn extra bonuses for signing up with our affiliate links. Thank you for watching, and I see you guys next time. Let's get this cheese.